Hello and welcome to another jobless tutorial. This time I will be covering Guerilla, light mapping and a little bit of Sapien. So to begin this tutorial you will need to load up Guerilla. I have got open source Guerilla here, which is labeled as OS_Guerilla. You may have Sapien, sorry, normal Guerilla. It depends whether or not you've installed OS, open source. So I'm going to go open here. I'm going to navigate to the tags folder, the levels. I'm going to go to my map name. Yours will be saved over wherever you have saved your map as. I'm going to go to Lone Obelisk, which is my one, and open this Lone Obelisk 2.scenario. Okay, once it has loaded your map, the first thing we want to do is add a sky. So that sky texture that you applied in Gmax is like a placeholder. It is where the sky is allocated. The sky itself is a 3D texture that must be added in Guerilla. It will be added to all areas that have plus sky on that particular BSP. So I'm going to go to the sky folder, which is located in the tags folder. I'm going to select myself a sky. Now, just to quickly demonstrate what happens if you put an incorrect item into the wrong field in Guerilla, you'll have this red area. So that will occur whenever you play something that just is not right. It could be an incorrect path or an incorrect type of file or anything really. So anything that's not supposed to be there. So yeah, if you see anything red, it means it needs to be changed or just altered. Maybe you may have gone a slash in the file path. So I'm going to go to dusk. I'm going to select dusk sky. Next thing I'm going to do is I need to make sure this is actually a multiplayer game, so I'm going to select multiplayer from this menu. Then I want to scroll down to where the player starting profile is. I'm going to add one. Sorry, wrong one. That's for single player maps. We want this one, starting equipment. So, now, this is pretty standard. By default, you start off with 2 frag grenades. If you want to start with no frag grenades, you tick here. If you want to start with 2 plasma grenades, you stick here. Then you simply select the type of multiplayer game that you want this profile to be in. So you could have different profiles for different things, like different profile for Slayer or Capture the Flag or Ruffle. I'm just going to hit all games here. By default, all games is probably the simplest way to go. I'm going to select a assault rifle. By default, this will spawn you with an assault rifle, a pistol, and 2 frag grenades. In fact, I think what I will select is simply a plasma pistol. So I go into item collections, which is where all the multiplayer weapons and power-ups are stored, as well as grenades, single weapons, and I'm going to select the plasma pistol, the item collection. I'm going to select no grenades, and that is as far as I need to go in this particular one. I'm then going to go down to Structured BSPs right at the bottom and open the Lone Obelisk Structured BSP. This is for the multiplayer map that I made for this tutorial, the one that was in the sketch, and I believe I've shown it briefly in Gmax. So we have the scenario and we have the structured BSP. This one here is a copy of the actual Lone Obelisk map I've made just for this tutorial and a few others. Normally it would be also called Lone Obelisk. The Lone Obelisk scenario structure is the BSP that we built in Gmax. The Lone Obelisk.scenario is all the information about that map we need to know. Is it multiplayer or single player? What's the sky? Things like that. So, let's say you had an incorrect texture, which may have happened in Gmax. You typed something slightly wrong and it popped up with a problem when compiling. In order to change that later on, if you want to, this is a cheap way. I'd recommend using Gmax, but if it really is necessary, maybe you've lost your Gmax folder, you can simply go into collision materials, select the incorrect material. It probably won't be red. It almost certainly won't be red. It'll be black, but look carefully and you may notice it will be incorrect. You simply click here and change it to the correct shader that you want. So the shader is the texture. It's a link to the texture, but it also states how the texture interacts in the game, such as what sound it makes when you step on it, things like that, what sound it makes when you shoot it, what type of material is it, i.e. wood, metal, air, glass, etc. So you want to locate the shader folder, which is the next to the texture folder where you got your texture from. But this one here will be in the tags folder, not the data folder. You simply select the one that's got the same name, and away you go. Do exactly the same thing for exactly the same texture under the materials area a little bit further down. Once you've done that, your texture should appear properly in the game. So now we need to exit out of Guerilla, save it, and then we need to light map it. Now I've been using light mapping already to light map my trial for this tutorial. I'm just going to show you how you light map. So I'm going to hit OS Tool, or maybe Tool in your case if you don't have open source installed. And I'm going to type up light maps, levels slash whatever the name of your map's called. So in my case, low obelisk slash low obelisk. Once again, whatever the map's called. I'm going to have to put 2 here, but you will not have to do that. And then space, exactly the same thing again. And then you want to hit 0.9, which is the amount of RGB it colors to. And hit enter. It may take a little while. In my case, I'll do it really fast because I've done light maps before. In your case, it may be a little bit slower. Okay, so with that done, the next thing we need to do is keep this open. You may need it later. Well, you will need it later. We want to go and open OS Sapien and open our scenario, which will be found in the same folder that you found it in Guerilla. So as you can see here, I have my scenario in game. This is what it will look like in game. I've got the sky here. As you can see, it's a 3D texture with the halo ring and everything else. And inside here, we have it lighting up our map. Now, there are 3 types of lights in the game. You have your skylight from the sky. You have just lights, and then you have some scenery objects which produce light. To start off with, I'm going to just show you what a light looks like. So I'm going to go and place. Well, actually, before I do that, I guess I should probably tell you how to navigate in Sapien. So to move your camera view around, simply hold down the mouse wheel, and you can rotate your camera. To move, you then use the WASD, so WASD, to move left, right, forward, backwards. Up and down are R and F. And to change the speed your camera is travelling at, use the Shift key. That's about it, really. So, the next thing you want to be doing is you want to be getting the files you want for your map. As you can see here, one of these textures here animates. So some textures in this game do animate. This is one of them. So light fixtures. So what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing a light fixture from the map B30 or the silent cartographer. If you download the complete tags file from the link in the course information, you will be able to access this file. Otherwise, you do not have access to light fixtures at the moment. I'm going to go add a light fixture from B30/devices/light fixtures and then light fixture in wall 2. Add that. Then I'm also going to add a scenery object that produces light. So I'm going to go into scenery. As you can see, I've already got a few. I'm going to remove them for now and add one. You will not have that. This is a copy of another scenario. So I'm going to go into tags/scenery. I'm going to select the better, just the ordinary one, not the dynamic one, and hit OK. Okay, so to place things in Sapien, you move to where you want to place it, and you click where you want to place it. To start off with, we'll just put something with none. You then select what you want, so in this case light fixture 2. Now I need now to rotate this. So I can either use these here to rotate it, by simply moving my mouse near the arrow, and then clicking and dragging. I can also move the object up and down the wall, etc. by waiting for the triangle there to get large, and then click and drag. To reset everything, just hit 0 here, and it'll go back to where it was. For final adjustments, also alter these. So I want -90, I think. Yep, there we are. As you can see, the light fixture is now placed in the correct way. So I'm going to place that wherever I want it. Now, if I wanted it in a particular position, I would alter these. If I want another one in exactly the same position on this side, I would place it and then copy these across to the other one. So just copy paste. As you can see, if I place 2 will appear on the hierarchy view. So really you only want the properties view and the hierarchy view open. There's also the tool view, and I believe there's one other view. I've never used them. I'm not actually entirely sure what they're there for. But yeah, just ignore them, exit them if you want to. As you can see, I've now got 2 light fixtures. If I want to get them the same height, I simply copy that and put it in here. And now it's the same height on the wall. And the same applies for the other ones. So if I want it to be white at the sky, I think I want the X value here. There we are. So now it's in exactly the same position on the wall as the one at the opposite end of the map. To change how the light looks, I want one, if I'm going to have a blue base here and a red base here, I can alter the light by clicking on here or altering these. I find it easier just to click here. It brings up a color menu. I want one of these red, so I'll highlight red for one. And I want the other one blue, so I'll click here and do blue. Then I need to alter the intensity. So anything above 100 is quite bright. I'm going to stick 40 here for both of these. That'll give a reasonably good glow. And finally, the fallout and cutout angle. The fallout is directly how it falls off from the light itself, and the cutout angle is the angle it stops lighting at. So for example, if I had a cutout angle of 180, it would stop lighting when it hit the wall. If I had 360, it would not stop lighting, it would light up the whole area around it. Same with the fallout angle. So I'm going to hit 90 and 90 here for these. Okay, and now I'm going to place the batten. So the batten scenery object, I don't need to alter anything, I just simply place it. Once again, select batten, I want to have it slightly rotated. And then I hit save, quit this, and relight that bit simply by pressing the up button and hitting enter again. This is why I like to keep the command line open very, very fast. Go back in here, and as you can see now, I have lights. So I've got red light over here, and I have a blue light over here, red and blue base. Pretty good. Finally, I have this. So this one here, I believe I may have selected the wrong batten here. I'll just go place the dynamic batten and redo that. So if you want to alter a scenery item so it stays in the same place but it's a different scenery object, I simply go into the hierarchy view, select the one I want, and select a different one from the drop down menu. So to do that, I'm going to have to edit types again, add another scenery object. I'm going to add the batten dynamic, which will actually change lighting around the area. And as you can see, it's now a batten dynamic. It looks exactly the same, but the moment you see the difference. Or not. Okay, so normally what will happen is a area of light around this will start glowing and fading. I'm not quite sure why it's not doing it here, but it doesn't really matter. Some items can be used to light. So that's the extent of this tutorial. On the next tutorial I'll be going more in depth into how to use Sapien, placing player spawns and other such things. Goodbye.